Yeah, you were down at the joint practice today against the Eagles. How bad was it?
So, driving on my way in here, I was trying to figure out a way to explain it.
Oh, God.
And I guess I would equate it to driving a little bit. You ever been driving and you see this accident happen in front of you and you just barely miss it? And you're like, you're
that was
sort
close.
of reconsidering everything in your life, like what has happened. You get like a 10,000-yard stare. That's kind of where I am. It was like traumatic.
Is that bad? Huh?
Is it as bad as anything you've seen in your career?
So
covered?
I need to go back and watch the Matt Patricia offense, or at least read what I wrote when they had that joint practice with the Raiders. Like it was similar to that, but like that was different. Like that was just they don't have a chance. This was more like they can't block anybody. Like, you know, I know the Eagles are good and they have some really good players, especially up front. But you know what they're I mean, the run game didn't really do much. They popped a couple here and there. But I mean, look, they had in team periods, they had 42 dropbacks and they were sacked 14 times. And most of the completions were just like, you know, short variety. You know, Drake May, I know, you know, people are like, oh, he was 6 for 6 and 7-on-7. First of all, he's like first team all 7-on-7, Drake May. That's what we've learned in training camp. But like 5 of them were just flats, like just look in the flat. He did have one nice ball to, I think it was Baker. That was really nice, deep down the field. That was good. But yeah, the offense was an absolute train wreck today. I had a feeling that it was going to go this way. I didn't think it was going to be that bad. And if this doesn't send the coaching staff and the front office back asking serious questions like, what the hell are we going to do? The Patriots are in real trouble this season.
Can I tell you what the headline is on Bedard's report on his website? On bostonsportsjournal.com? Brutal. One word, brutal. That's the headline.
He said earlier it was traumatic?
Yes. It was sort of like, I don't know what I just witnessed. Like
Shell-shocked.
Yeah, I was shell-shocked. Like, it was like the practice, like the one-on-ones. So I watched the Patriots offensive line against the Eagles defense.
Of course you did.
Of course I did. And, you know, Giardi and I sort of split practice. So he watched the defense. I saw a few plays. I think the Patriots defense definitely held their own on the other side of the field. Definitely saw some sacks and things like that. But I watched the Patriots offense, and it started off decently enough in like 7-on-7. And I will say Brissett had a pretty successful 2-minute drill that got down in the red zone. They got held on 4 downs, but at least they moved the ball. But some of the last period, like Drake May's last 2 periods, and one of them, I don't know why they did this, but it was Drake May with Antonio Mafi at center against the Eagles' first-team defense. I mean, what did you think was going to happen? And, of course, they had a fumbled snap because, God forbid, Antonio Mafi goes through a single practice without a bad snap. I don't even know why they keep putting him out there. There's this kid, Liam Fornadell, who's done a nice job. And finally, they replaced Mafi, you know, not to get in the weeds on the offensive line. But, yeah, it was stunning to watch. It has me questioning everything, from the decision to draft Drake May to what they're doing on the offensive line to the lack of urgency to address any personnel on the offensive line. I mean, I'll take the blame. For a long time, I was like, okay, I see the plan. I understand the plan. I'm good with the plan. Today made me question everything that's been going on there.
That first thing, the questioning the drafting of Drake May, is he overwhelmed?
Yeah, so I was going to ask the same thing, Jim. Is that when you say you're questioning the drafting of Drake May because of Drake May, or because the state of the team and what's the point of drafting a quarterback at this stage?
No,
this far away?
It's not. If he had shown differently to this point, I wouldn't have any issue with it. To me, what it looks like, and I'm telling you, this is my opinion, no one's telling me this from the inside, but from being at all the practices and watching how they're handling Drake May and seeing how indecisive he is, it's my opinion that they had no idea how far away he was. To me, he looks miles away. And to me, that's either a misevaluation in the draft process, thinking that, okay, yeah, we're going to draft him 3, and he's a little bit of a project, but, it'll be fine. We have a plan. We know what we're going to do. By midseason, he should be up to speed where he needs to be. He looks miles from that right now. And I'm not telling you that's a fact. I'm just telling you that's my opinion from watching. I just don't think he knows really what's going on as far as, deciphering coverage. There was a blitz up the middle today in one of his periods where he's under center, and I forget, it was one of the Eagles' middle linebackers, and he's walking up into the A gap, and he ends up coming, and Kevin Harris is 5 yards back, and Kevin Harris just turns around like, I didn't have a chance. And so what's Drake May supposed to do there? Is he supposed to, make some sort of check? Is he supposed to, change up the cadence or, what? But, Kevin Harris, who's been around for a couple of years, was just like, I didn't have a shot to stop that. So to me, I put some of that on Drake. I just think, just from watching practice, I think that he is very far away. I mean, in the way they're handling him, I mean, talking to some people around the league, they say something smells about what's going on with Drake May. Either it's the play, they misevaluated the player, and you don't draft that guy at 3 if he's this far away, or they're just not developed. They don't have the right plan to develop him, and I don't know what is the right answer.
Could it be both?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, it could.
Oh boy.
Yeah. I mean, I would just be interested to know, and we'll never know this. When they decided on Drake May, what was Alex Van Pelt and Ben McAdoo saying about, all right, here's the plan. Here's where we evaluate him right now. This is the plan. This is where he should go. And I do think some of it is he is a lot further behind than they thought. So I don't know who's to blame for that.
Oh boy.
Your thoughts, Mazz?
Can I ask one more question?
Of course.
Because I'm obsessed with the offensive line as a whole and their inability to improve it and protect. Okay? Is it worse than what you saw a year ago?
Probably, yeah. I mean, when you look at the guys they're putting out there, I mean, Vidarian Lowe, I mean, Okafor looks like he's okay. I mean, Calvin Anderson at left tackle on the second team is just, it's not working. It's not. And I do think and it's probably too late for the preseason game, but they need to come out of this and they need to get into a room with Scott Peters. And
Scott Peters is
the offensive line, and Robert Kugler's the assistant offensive line coach, and the whole brain trust. And they need to be like, all right, what we're doing so far, Vidarian Lowe, 7-8 straight practices at left tackle, this isn't working. And so, what are we going to do? Now, I do think they have some, options. Like Layden Robinson, the 4th-round pick, played really well the other night. And I thought he showed well again today. Do you plug him in at right guard and move Owenu out at right tackle? Then again, Sidy Sow has looked good in practice. I didn't think he was that good in the game the other day. How good are you at left guard with Sidy Sow out there? I think there's a lot of things that need to be questioned, and they need to figure something out.
Okay. How do you feel about that, Boston? 617-779-0985. How do you feel about that, Mazz?
If it's possible, I feel worse now than I did at the beginning of the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do too.
Way worse. And I laugh when I hear 14 sacks. This is nothing to laugh about.
14 sacks and 42 drop is 1 every 3 times you're going down.
Right. And so that number makes you laugh when you hear it. After listening to Big Boy here, I don't think this is any laughing matter. If it was that bad today, we could be looking at 1-16.
The hell with the offensive line. I think quarterback might be hopeless.
I mean, well, there's that, right. That's the bigger story. It is. I'm obsessed with the offensive line because I find it inexcusable that they have not improved that area. And if they can't, the first thing he said today is they can't block anybody. If you can't block anybody, it's over.
If you like that clip, check out more videos from Felger and Mazz here. For more Patriots analysis and opinion, hit this playlist. And for all the latest from the Sports Hub, download the app at 985thesportshub.com.